An elbow in the ribs jolted me awake from a place of deep peace. What? I heard something in the house. Okay, I'll check it out. I fumbled to get dressed and groggily headed down the hall. In the kitchen, I flipped on the light, half blinding myself. But even before my eyes adjusted, I saw something jump down from the counter and skitter behind the fridge. I was suddenly awake, wide awake. That was what she heard, no doubt. As I peered down one side of the fridge by the wall, it scurried out the other side, past the counter, and then behind the stove. Damn. Then, before I could do anything, it escaped out the other side of the stove and around the corner and raced back toward the rest of the house. I dashed through the living room to cut it off before it could make it into the hallway towards my no longer sleeping wife. With two closed doors blocking the intruder's retreat, I began to search, all to no avail. I looked in closets, under couches, in every nook and cranny I could think of. He was gone. It was still 3 a.m., and I had no clue where the critter was. But I was rational about the situation. However that thing got in, it could get back out. I'll just close some doors and pray it finds its way out. That's all I can do tonight. It's all good, I told my wife as I crawled back into bed. I passed out again quickly. I doubt she slept, but I didn't get any more elbows in the ribs. All good, like I said. In the light of day, I casually mentioned, hey, I saw that thing you heard last night. Was it big or small? She asked. Now, there's really only one way to answer that question. Smaller than me, right? Small, I answered. As the Saturday morning progressed, I saw no sign of our intruder. All good. The situation had surely resolved itself. Jennifer, sleep-deprived from the night before, stretched out on a couch and napped for several hours. Did I mention she was pregnant? In my book, pregnant ladies can do whatever they want. So I let her sleep and went about other Saturday things for most of the day. Late in the afternoon, as I was passing through the living room, I saw that she was awake. Not the snuggly, I just had a great nap awake, but wide-eyed and full of terror. All of a sudden, she said, I just felt something. What? I felt something move. Several things happened in rapid succession. Being the helpful husband that I am, I reached down to move the pillow by her feet. She was smart enough to know that was a bad idea. I didn't register her loud, "Don't!" until I lifted the pillow at her feet to reveal a very large rat. Much to the surprise of all three of us. The two of them went over opposite ends of the couch with lightning speed and dexterity. Jennifer dashed, screaming for the bedroom as the rat once again disappeared from sight. Then I saw the intrepid invader, darting from behind the couch and into the kitchen. Hot on its tail, I saw the rat squeeze behind the stove, but not come out. I'm not sure what I thought I was going to accomplish with these tools, but I went to the garage and I got a large round bucket and a broom. That's all I could think of. Content with hiding rather than running, the cornered rat found its way into the frame of our stove. It was an old-school electric one with coiled burners on top and a frame with vent holes in the back. In went the rat, deep into the inner workings of the stove. I could see his furry body and cup-shaped ears through the burner holes under the flat-top cover. Knowing he was well hidden and unlikely to move, I went back to check on Jennifer. I found her, traumatized, keening and rocking in the center of our queen bed, still hyperventilating, assuring her that the rat was cornered and stationary. I helped her get out the door to go to her sister's place. Once she was out of the house, I turned back to my adversary. Everything else in life was on hold until I could extricate the rat. I found him right where I left him. I shimmied the stove out away from the wall and into the kitchen so I could access the back. Opening the top of the stove just made him run back down the frame. We did this cycle several times, chasing him up and down, back and forth. Finally, the rat made a break for it, out of the back of the stove and around the corner again, but this time, I was the one trapped by the stove and couldn't give chase. When I finally got around the stove and into the house, you guessed it, the rat was gone. This time I instigated a much more thorough search, beginning with the couch cushions. I dug under things and peered into things. I searched everywhere. I emptied a closet, upending every possible hiding spot. No rat. Finally, I decided to go to Lowe's to get some traps. Maybe I could let technology work for me. Some glue traps caught my eye. Those look easy and effective, more modern and less vicious than old school snap traps. This must be an improvement. But what do I know? I was a rookie homeowner. With some slightly misguided optimism, I set several glue traps around in the house. Then I met Jen at my sister-in-law's apartment, where we spent the night. The next day, I returned full of hope, only to find one tiny mocking footprint on one of the glue traps. But it was pointing in the direction of the kitchen. I know where you are. I crept up slowly on the stove, which is still pulled out from the wall, and saw a little gray ear peeking through a vent hole in the back. Gotcha. I was not going to chase him again. This was going to end right here, right now. An urgent call to my father-in-law brought a pellet gun into play. We could dispatch the rat without any more shenanigans. Soon, it was finished. I could proudly welcome my frazzled wife home with proof of my conquest. Not that she wanted to see any of that. When I called my damsel in distress to celebrate my victory, she was still somewhat traumatized. And, in a bizarre turn of events, watching the rats of Nim through the tense grip of her fingers, partially covering her eyes. Maybe her sister thought it was relevant or humorous, cathartic. With the assurance of a complete extermination and a thorough cleaning of the restoration of our house, Jen bravely returned home. Further inspection of our house revealed that, in the night he spent alone, the rat sought out every possible exit from our house. Evidence of his presence was in every room, on every surface. I'll spare you the shitty details. The despicable creature even chewed the buttons off of our TV's remote control. I finally discovered his entry point. We had a construction project in progress in our dining room where we were moving a wall a few inches. Our contractor cut the ceiling in the wrong place. So there was a 2-inch gap opening up to the attic. The rat had fallen down and then tracked little powdery white sheetrock dust footprints everywhere. They were all over our newly painted red wall where he had jumped repeatedly, frantically, and unsuccessfully toward the windows. His perfect little 5-toed prints were scattered about 2 feet off the ground beneath each windowsill. Our stove was soon dragged out to the curb and replaced, along with a remote control. New crown molding in the dining room allowed us to sleep at night. And after the dust literally settled, our rodent saga became increasingly less mortifying and horrific. If you don't have at least one good rat story, have you even truly lived?